Right, quick lesson on solving by substitution. Last lesson you would have seen that the first way of solving simultaneous equations that I gave you was to draw the two lines and see where they cross. You're going to do that twice in the test, but obviously that would take a long time. That would take a long time to do that all the time. It's overly time consuming and it takes up a lot of space. Instead, I stuffed that up, so I'll fix it here. There are algebraic methods to solve simultaneous equations. The first one I'm teaching you about is substitution. You're also only doing this twice. Solving by substitution. You do it where one or both equations has the variable x or y as the subject of the equation. For example, x is by itself and it equals something, or y is by itself and it equals something. Not like this. So if you had something in general form like 3x plus 2y equals 6, what's the subject of that? What's the thing that's by itself? 6. That's not where you would use this. You would only use solving by substitution if x equals something or y equals something. So the steps to solve by substitution: substitute the right-hand side of the subject equation into your other equation. Make sure to use brackets for grouping. Step 2, expand the brackets as needed, then solve for the variable left. And step 3, substitute the variable you found in step 2 into either of your simultaneous equations to solve for the last. That doesn't mean anything right now. That's perfectly fine. You'll only see what that really means when you try it out. So can you get those 3 steps down? Then I'll show you how it works. Need a pen? Now, let's practice. Solve these simultaneous equations by substitution. You have y is equal to 3x take 1, and x plus y is equal to 3. This red stuff is not your working out. This is just for me to help you with the first example. And what am I thinking in my head? Which of the equations, the top or the bottom, has x or y as the subject? Top. What's the subject of it? Y? What does the other equation look like with the subject equation substituted into it? So what do? Substitute the right-hand side of that subject equation into the other one and use brackets for grouping. So this equation is telling me that y is equal to 3x take 1. So what's the second equation going to look like if I shove that in to where y is? It's going to be x plus y is 3x take 1 equals 3. The brackets don't do anything here, but it's important to use brackets for grouping, because if there was a minus sign there, that would stuff everything up, okay? So always use brackets for grouping just in case. According to BEDMAS, what does B stand for? Brackets. So I want to deal with the brackets first. Is there anything I can do with 3x take 1? No. So you can just remove it now. X plus 3x take 1 is equal to 3. So now we use sort of year 8 to year 9 to year 10 maths. How many x's do I have on that left side? I have an x plus 3 x's. How many x's do I have? 4x take 1 is equal to 3. So I'm using algebra strategies to solve this. I want to get rid of the negative 1. What's the opposite of taking 1 from something? Add 1. So if I added 1 to both sides, I'm going to get 4x is equal to 4. What's the 4 doing to x? So what's the opposite of that? Divide both sides by 4. 4 over 4 cancels. X is equal to 4. Is that the answer to the question in a simultaneous equation?
X is equal to 1.
Oh, sorry. You got me. I won't remove that. I'll leave that in there. Thank you, kind student, for correcting my maths. X is equal to 1? Is that the end of it?
Nope.
Because I want to know what y equals. So what you should do, yep.
How did you get 4 over 4?
Because we got to here, opposite of taking 1 is adding 1. So 3 plus 1 is 4. So I'm at 4x is equal to 4. What's the 4 here doing to x? You're timesing. So what's the opposite of timesing by 4? Divide both sides by 4. And then I literally said 4 divided by 4 is 4. And that's on the internet now. Right? I need to find what y equals. I only know what x is equal to. So what does step 3 say? Substitute the variable found in step 2, which is this, into either of the simultaneous equations to solve for the last variable you need. You can plug this into any of these two. But I suggest you choose the easier looking one. Which is the easier looking one here? The top or the bottom? The bottom. So you plug in x, you were told in the last step was 1, plus y is equal to 3. What's the opposite of positive 1? Negative 1. So y is equal to 2. That's how you solve by substitution. That's a basic example. Can I give you some time to write that example down, please? So we'll look at the next example so people can have a think about how they would go about solving that. Before we even start it, in example 2, is the brackets going to matter this time? You look at that. Which equation am I going to shove into the other one? Which equation, the top or the bottom, has x or y written as the subject? Top or the bottom is 50%. Top, and I'm going to shove that into the bottom one using brackets. So, you're told that y is equal to x take 3. So I'm going to go 2x plus 3. And in brackets, put the top equation in, is equal to 16. Just like you said, the brackets matter now because you have a 3 on the outside of the brackets. How do I expand the brackets? Let's review. You times the outside by the first one, and then you add the outside times by the second one as well. So it's going to be 2x plus, what's 3 times by x?
3x.
What's 3 times by negative 3? Negative 9. If you're adding a negative number, it becomes subtraction anyway. So negative 9 is equal to 16. Let's put our working up out here. 2x plus 3x. How many x's do I have? 5 x's. Take 9 is equal to 16. How do I get rid of taking 19? Taking 9. Adding 9, so 5x is equal to 25. How do I get rid of timesing by 5? Divide by 5. X is going to be, should I say 1? 5. Is that the end? Am I done yet? No. Now I need to know what y is. Which is the easier looking of the equations? I would say the top two, because you don't need to multiply or anything. So then you've got y is equal to 5 take 3. Y, what is 5 take 3? Let's say 1 again. 5 take 3, 2. That's your solution. If you ever have time, if you want to flex on people during your test and go back and check, well, check if your solutions agree with everything If you have told me y is equal to 2, well, 2 is equal to x is 5. 5 take 3, that's a true statement. If you want to check the bottom one, 2 times by 5 is 10, plus 3 times by 2 is 6, 10 plus 6, 16. Some of you might have time for that. I'd probably say the methods kids will have time to go back and check. Others not so. All right, that's the end of the video.